Okay, 1997 to 2001 Camry. The fuel pump's been acted up on this car, so I was going to change it out. It cost me about $100 at Rock Auto for the denso part. Here's the box and the parts that come with the kit when you buy the kit. I got the fuel pump, the little filter, and the gasket and the clips that come with it, and also an instruction guide, which is pretty nice. First thing you do is take the battery off the car, and then you'll have to take the cap off the gas so that you don't have any pressure in there. Basically on both corners of the seat, you just, from the front here, you pull it up and the seat comes out really easy. You move the rug a little bit, and then you have that round circle plate where the fuel pump is under, and you just pry it open with a screwdriver. It's pretty simple to get off. The next thing I did was I took off the connector that was on here, and basically it's just I pried it with a screwdriver. It was on there pretty tight, so I had to use a screwdriver, but it came off and didn't crack or anything. Second thing is I removed this plate off of the fuel line itself. There's two screws, and you pretty much have to use a socket wrench to get it off. It's on there pretty tight. And then the next thing would be to pull this cable off, this fuel line off. There's two clips and you just push it off. Okay, so I got all the screws out. I also marked with a permanent marker a couple of lines on the pieces so that when I put it back together I know how they align. A little dark, but basically just there's two clips on that pipe. It's not that easy to do with this being here. You have to pinch this and pull. That came off pretty quickly. Well, here's what it looks like when it gets out. First thing you got to do is remove this cap, and under there is a little black bushing. So I'm going to remove that first. Alright, so I put two screwdrivers under there, and I unclicked those little attachments on there. And this should come right off. Oh, there's another one up there on the top. Let's see. So I got that little cap off. Here it is. It's three little clips. It's really easy to get off, actually. This is a little black bushing that you want to make sure you put back on. It's rubber. And the next thing I'm going to take off is this little clip here that holds on this kind of strainer. There is some dirt on it, which is pretty wild, but it's not as dirty as you'd think it would be. But that's going to be replaced. I got the filter and the little metal clip that was holding the filter on. The little clip took a little while to get off, but I got it off. The next step is there's two notches on these orange plastic here, one there and one on the other side, and basically you use a screwdriver, stretch it out a little bit, and then you can pull this black part off. Okay, I got the plastic piece out of the orange piece. There was actually three of those little clips, so just look for the third one. It's kind of hidden. Alright, I didn't know I would have had to do this, but I did see a video that said you had to. There's a little plastic wire here that's connected, and it has to be removed so you can remove the motor out of there. And there's the two pieces. Basically that pump has to be removed now, which is basically held on there with a gasket. If you pull hard enough, it should come right out. Yeah, it didn't take any effort. I got that out pretty easily. There's a black wire on there you got to remove now too, and dismantle the gasket section. That's the black wire that came out. It came out really easy. On a new pump, they put some plastic covers on it, so you have to remove the plastic covers first. Let's see if I could get this other one on there. Alright, here we go. And pull this one off, and now it's ready for the new pieces. Just looking at the old one, I could tell what to do with this one, which is good to have two, you know. And then if you ever have to use the parts over again, you probably could, but I got new parts for this. And harder to record this, so first part I'm going to put on is this piece here. So that goes on. Kind of loose, but I guess this will be like that. Then the rubber gasket, which I'm going to put lube on. And then the little end cap, which is white now. On the other one it's orange. I think it just turned orange up because of the gas, but it's a hard one to get on. I got this lube from my pool, which is pretty much just light lubricant, and I put it on those pieces, and it let me put the white plastic on a lot easier. Okay, I put the cable back onto the pump itself. And now I'm going to try to put it back into the orange piece. Alright, I don't know if it was because of the lube or what, but it went on really nicely. It had a little resistance, but it's on there. And you have to make sure that the wires on top go through this little slot, but you're good there. Okay, that took a few minutes. Lining up those clamps on there is a little pain. It only goes in one way. There is a little metal piece right here. And I wasn't sure really how that worked, but it goes on the outside of the black thing. It really can't go inside because it wouldn't work. So this is a little tiny metal piece here, right here, goes on this outside of this black thing. I don't know why it's there. Maybe it just put some tension on it. But these clamps, yeah, they only go in one way, and this is what it should look like when it's done. It's good to see from the electrical side because that's the best way to see it. Okay, the next part is to put this little plastic strainer back on, and it's pretty simple, straightforward, this thing. Could go on one way. I wouldn't put too much pressure on the pump, so lift it and push it in. I think it's on there. All kind of fragile, you don't really want to force anything. I know it was really hard to get this off, so I want to make sure it's on there good. Alright, then this clip goes on, this little silver clip. And the thongs face up. See the little silver clip? And it goes back on top. Now one guy said to use a socket, so I'll go get a socket and push it on with a socket. Okay, if you notice, we have some extra parts in this kit. This is for a different setup for a different car. They just give you all the parts that you could possibly need. It's great that I had to cut wires with this version because it's Densko. Okay, so the cap goes back on, the rubber cap. And there you go. And then we put this little plastic, let me see if I can get in the camera here. This little plastic piece goes back on. It should be pretty straightforward, so I'll cut recording for a second. Yep, that went on really easy. Just clips, you hear the noise. One thing, they have this little spongy kind of thing here. There's gas in there, so you might want to just push it a little bit and get some of the gas out, but it's good now. Everything's been reinstalled. It's ready to go back into the car. Interesting. I got it back in. I put in 6 screws. I'm going to put the last 2 screws in that hold that cover on the gas line. First I'll connect the gas line back up. It's all back together now. I put the electrical connector back on. I'm not going to put the cover on until I check for leaks, but I'll put the gas cap and the battery back on now. And then we'll try to pump the pump a little bit with the key in the ignition and then try to start it up. I had to prime it once. It pretty much started the pump up and you could hear it, and now the car's running.